today we're reacting to the Volgun. Now, this is a channel I followed for a long time. Because who doesn't like a bit of a SCP reading, right? And I'm too lazy to go through the entire catalog, honestly. And yes, I can't change Luna's expressions right now, mostly because it'll just change the time. Because I have it set, her expression set to a numpad. So I can't really change your expressions right now. But that's okay. We'll at least be able to enjoy this. So, really heavily recommend you check out the Volgun for SCP kind of content. Here, let me go show his channel. Yeah, I've seen almost all of his videos. I haven't seen the recent ones, but I have seen, you can tell, I've seen at least all of these already. So we're just reacting to some before we play Lobotomy Court, because why not? They're pretty close to the same thing, SCP and Lobotomy Court, so it'll be nice and fun to watch. And yeah, let's enjoy. I haven't watched one of his videos for a while.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is
It's a sentient
SCP
stop sign.
5842.
That's the title of the thing.
Object Class, Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-5842 is currently uncontained. Previous sightings of SCP-5842 are currently being passed off as gags. Wellington is to be monitored in the case that SCP-5842 becomes active again.
So it's not active
Description.
right now?
SCP-5842 is a standard North American stop sign. SCP-5842's primary anomalous property is appearing in a location via unknown means. Initially, it was believed that SCP-5842 appeared at random. However, further research has discerned a pattern in its appearances.
Interesting.
See addenda below. Addendum 5842. Added below is a list of the most noteworthy sightings and encounters with SCP-5842. The first is a series of text message exchanges between Wilma Greggs and her employer.
Let me see.
First encounter.
Position. Over here, Luna.
Hey,
all the way over here. There you go.
I know about everything that's been going on as of late, but you can't just leave work like that. Talk to me.
Oh yeah, sorry, I completely forgot to call you. I passed right out when I got home.
Wait, you managed to get home? But your car is still here.
I walked home.
From the office?
Yeah. Why is that so weird?
All 12 miles?
Yeah.
Jesus, Wilma. How long did that take?
5 hours.
Yeah, that's weird.
You left your car at work and walked for 5 hours until you got home?
Yeah. I couldn't drive my car.
Well, if your car wasn't working, you could have just asked one of us to drive you.
It's not that it wasn't working. There was a stop sign in my car, so I did what it told me, and I stopped using that car.
Whoa, that's weird. Okay.
Excuse me?
There was a stop sign in my car. You're supposed to stop at a stop sign, right?
Wilma, I get off in an hour. Come out of the house. I'll take you somewhere. Come on. My treat.
Sorry, can't.
Don't worry about the price. I'll take you somewhere. Anywhere. It can be a big fancy restaurant, you know, or a walk in the park. I just want to be there for you. You know?
I can't leave the house.
Why not?
There's a stop sign outside my window, so I can't go outside.
Wilma, I'm gonna call you.
Lisa tries to call Wilma. It gets rejected.
Stop. I can't make phone calls either.
Come on, dear, just talk to me. You've been working yourself to death. Why can't you answer the phone anyways?
I can't answer the phone because the stop sign told me not to.
What?
This is really weird.
I went for a cup of coffee at the office, and then I heard the customer phone ring. When I went there to answer it, there was a stop sign in my cubicle.
In your cubicle? Wait, is that why you left work?
Yeah. To be honest, I think it's haunting me.
Haunting? But that Earth's not even real.
Well, that's what I thought too until it started following me. Oh well.
Wilma, I'm signing this 30-day off slip. I need your signature, okay?
Only if you come here.
That's fine.
Actually, never mind. Don't come here.
Why?
It's at my front door now. No visitors.
Wilma!
Have to obey traffic laws. Thomas would agree with me.
Thomas? Wilma, Does William know yet?
No, I'll tell him after his birthday.
Okay, well, I'm still coming, okay?
Eh.
That's really
Second
strange.
encounter. SCP-5842 made an appearance in the morgue of Tillman.
Let me stop right here for a minute and try to hash this out. So this stop sign is... It seems to be psychic in some way and somehow influencing them. Like I said, I can't change Luna's expressions. That's why she's going to be staying like this for the entire time. But it seems to be psychically affecting them some way. Because obviously, I wouldn't give a crap. Like, if I was being haunted by a stop sign, I wouldn't care. But it's obviously has some influence over people's minds for some reason. So that's immediately interesting. Like, usually, it's really hard. Like, you wouldn't be... I tried one time to make an SCP myself, but I got rejected because, you know, you gotta have... It's gotta be a really good story. I'm just surprised that, like this stop sign... Like, this stop sign that is sentient is psychically affecting people. Anyways, let's just move on to the second encounter. I'm talking too much.
Funeral home and crematory. The following is a letter of resignation by Craig Dillard, an employee of Tillman Funeral Home.
Dear Johnny Truman, this is my official letter of resignation. As you know, I am a very devout and pious follower of the Christian faith. For the longest time, I thought I was doing a good job, handling the bodies of the deceased and preparing them for burials. I had always believed that taking on a job such as this was good for my soul. I thought that if I helped my fellow men and women see off their loved ones as they departed to the gilded gates of our glorious God, that I'd be recognized as virtuous.
And this is why I like the Volgun. He's just so good at doing these kind of more specific voices and stuff. It's awesome. He's just an awesome YouTuber. Just check him out if you ever want to watch SCP content and you don't want to read through all the
But sadly,
stuff.
that is not the case. I have received a sign from our Lord and Heavenly Father that I must stop what I have dedicated my career to. I was working on the body of an emissary of traffic when I turned around and saw the sign from God right then and there, peering down upon my work in the midst of me checking on the body's decomposition. In his life, this man directed the automobiles on the road. In death, he, ergo God, has directed the vehicle of my life choices. I must live with this occupation. If God gave me this sign, I must heed it. Thank you for everything, Johnny. I wish you the best. Craig Dillard.
Third encounter.
Interesting. Hey, X-Man. We're just reacting to the Volgun. If you haven't checked this YouTuber out, he's awesome. He does voiceovers of the SCP kind of, you know, files from the website or whatever. And he's just amazing. His voice is excellent for this. And we're just reacting to some of his videos because mostly I want to catch up and I want to chill for a minute before we get back into Lobotomy Corp. We will get into it after these little reactions, but right now we're just kind of enjoying things here. And right now we're reacting to a sentient stop sign. That is, I think, cognitohazardous or something. Because it seems to be influencing people's minds. And I can't really change Luna's face right now, so we're kind of stuck like this. Anyways, I'm babbling too much. Let's keep going.
SCP-5842 was spotted in Wellington Elementary School. There was a writing assignment that had the students introduce themselves and describe something of interest that they had seen. One of the students described their experience of being followed by SCP-5842, transcribed below. Spelling and grammar errors are preserved from the original document.
William Griggs, 10/4/2019. Miss Pollock. Cool things I've seen. Hi, my name is William Griggs, but my mommy and daddy call me Will. My mommy is Wilma Griggs. Her name sounds almost...
Oh my gosh. So, X-Man, you weren't here early in the video, but the first encounter we had was with another Wilma. I don't know if it's the same Wilma, but this has immediately got my attention.
the same, right? Daddy's the only one with a different name, and it's Thomas Griggs. Cool. I'm 6 years old, and I love my mommy and daddy. I saw a cool thing in the bathroom. Weird thing. I saw a cool red stop sign, and my favorite color is red. And it was in there. It was looking at me when I went in. Someone doesn't want me to use the bathroom, so I didn't. Held it in all day, and I'm proud of myself. And I think Mommy and Daddy would be proud too. Every time I use the bathroom, there's a stop sign in there looking at me, and I turn around when I'm not looking. Maybe it's my garden stop sign. Like an angel. But it makes me stop doing dangerous things and not make bad guys stop being bad. I wish the stop sign had wings that make cars stop. Daddy is a crossing guard. And he would always hold the little stop sign that has no wings and tell people when to go or when to stop. I don't get it, but he looks cool when he does it. He blows a whistle really hard and it gets so loud. Mommy drove me over to see him and he waved at us. I love Daddy. I haven't seen Daddy in a while. I wonder where he is. Today is my birthday. Maybe he's playing hide and seek with me, and he's putting stop signs in the school bathroom as a joke. Sometimes I find the stop sign in my own room. Daddy is so funny. I'll give him a big hug when I see him again.
That's very weird. Something tells me this stop sign is more malicious than we think. Because it's a Keter class, obviously, so it's really hard to, contain. Let's keep going. I would like to put more, but we're going to be here all day if I try to hash this out.
Fourth encounter. SCP-5842 was found placed at an intersection that forced a male civilian to stop in front of an oncoming vehicle. The following collision led to SCP-5842 being severely dented and damaged and subsequently caused the death of a male civilian.
Hi, Billy.
Incident
If you're just wondering what we're doing, we're just reacting to the Volgun, and then we're going to move on to Lobotomy Corp afterwards. I'm just going to chill out for now. I'm just chilling, reacting to stuff before I move on.
Reports leading up to that event have been added below. Incident date, 9/30/2019. Summary. SCP-5842 was seen in the driveway of a civilian identified as Frank Smith. As Frank Smith was pulling out of his driveway, SCP-5842 appeared behind his car and dented his rear bumper. SCP-5842 vanished immediately afterwards. Incident date, 9/30/2019. Summary. Frank Smith awakened in the middle of the night to SCP-5842 standing over him while he was asleep.
Okay, that's really creepy. You can obviously read the rest of that, but it's like this. Something is weird about this stop sign. Something is very freaking weird.
Sleep in bed. Neighbors reported seeing him run
Seems
out of his home
malicious
and
in
screaming,
some ways.
"Leave me alone, please, I didn't mean to."
I
Incident
didn't
date,
mean to.
10/2/2019. Summary. Frank Smith arrived at his job at South Palm Beach County Courthouse and went to use the restroom. Moments later, he ran out of there with his work pants at his ankles. He ran down a hallway while hysterically screaming, "He won't even let me shit in peace." Incident date, 10/4/2019. Summary. Frank Smith witnessed SCP-5842 sitting in the judge's seat in a courtroom half an hour before a court case he was overseeing. He prostrated and begged it for forgiveness before he vacated the premises and was not seen until his collision. Addendum 5842-2. SCP-5842's last reported sighting was South Florida National Cemetery. It was found leaning over a tombstone before it disappeared again. There have been no reported sightings since. Inscription on tombstone. Thomas Greggs, 10/4/1990 to 9/27/2019. This concludes.
Alright. Sinister stop sign. It seems, from what I can cash out here, from the entire thing that I just heard, that Thomas Greggs is somehow the stop sign. And he was killed by Frank. And that's why Frank was being haunted by the stop sign. That's the only thing I can think of. And the reason why he's interacting with Wilma and the child is because they're, he was married. So that's what I'm getting at here. That's what I think. That's what I'm basing my conclusion on from the story I heard.
Concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you're all dismissed.
Thank you, Volgun. We're gonna react to a little more of his videos. It's gonna be a minute. I'm kind of in relaxed mode right now. And Florida, where it belongs, indeed. Of course it's Florida. I've reacted to a lot of his videos. Like you can see here, this is the last one I've seen. I've watched all of these. I always love coming back to the Volgun just to chill out and listen to these. We got this one. We got 4 we can react to here. We got Lost Reward with a cat. Well, I guess we can go a bit in order. Let's go for the collective.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-1533. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. The individuals that collectively comprise SCP-1533 are to be confined to a 10 by 10 by 10 meter cell in an undisclosed site. An armed guard is to be posted outside of the containment chamber at all times. Should SCP-1533 attempt to escape, firearms are capable of subduing the entities only temporarily.
Okay, that's immediately interesting. So it's a collective of people or individuals. There's something weird about them that makes them... So it's only... Firearms are only capable of subduing the entities only temporarily. Interesting.
Requests of a material nature, whether it be of books, film, music, or other media, are to be strictly denied, and any personnel discovered smuggling paraphernalia into SCP-1533's cell will be removed from the holding facility and relocated per administrative orders. Under no circumstances are personnel allowed to fraternize with each other or the collective itself. All agents are to assume a neutral expression and allowed to only make short declaratives.
Part of me thinks that, Billy, but I'm also thinking, what if it's something like a hive mind? Actually, it says it right there. Look at the top. It says hive mind and humanoid SCP. So that's, yeah.
Statements in the presence of the holding cell. Any individualizing actions, social flourishes, or other interactions that go beyond the communication of simple directives will be added to SCP-1533's behavioral pool and be utilized to facilitate an escape.
So it learns human behaviors and it uses that as a way to escape. Okay, that makes sense. That's why you want to be as neutral as possible.
During the normally scheduled SCP-1533 event day, 12 D-Class exhibiting symptoms of autism spectrum disorders are to socialize with the collective in order to stunt SCP-1533's social growth. The desocializing of SCP-1533 must occur under the supervision of armed guards. Armed personnel are tasked with closely observing for any signs of the collective attempting to socialize the D-Class for its own benefit or any other anomalies. Operatives are prohibited from interacting with SCP-1533 in any way beyond making eye contact. Description: SCP-1533 is the designation for an aggregate intelligence of unknown nature, with command over superficially human entities and their personalities. Instances of SCP-1533 only manifest as social gatherings of variable nature, organized and attended by its comprising individuals. The SCP-1533 events occur at monthly intervals within a 50-mile radius of the previous event's location, and are generally gatherings such as house parties or holiday mixers.
Okay, so it seems to be... Okay, so it's kind of like a manifesting that, like it just appears. That's what I'm getting at here. I'm guessing there's something malicious when you socialize with them. There's something malicious that happens, or something like that. I'm not sure yet.
However, SCP-1533 has not been known to organize events that rely on the attendees knowing each other prior to the gathering, such as family reunions or birthday parties. The individuals that comprise SCP-1533 possess the ability to mimic the behaviors of human subjects they have interacted with in the past, observed behaviors enter a collective database at the disposal of SCP-1533, which are then distributed across the entities differently for each event. Each entity receives a personality schema consisting of a host of behaviors, skills, and personal attributes in order to perform a specific social role. The individuals need only to be in direct line of sight of an action to absorb it, remaining sensitive to social cues even when apparently intoxicated. Specific examples of modifiable attributes include personal idiosyncrasies, inflection and cadence of voice, physical expertise in a sport or activity, oratory skill, the demeanor of an individual, and even sense of humor.
Okay. Still don't know how... Strangers only? Yeah, that's what it seems to be. I'm just wondering where the dark part is. We haven't got to it yet. So obviously this thing is very adaptive. That's what I'm immediately getting at. It's very adaptive. So that's why they're using D-class subjects with like autism to stunt his growth as much as possible. For a reason. We're just gonna have to wait for this to explain how it's particularly deadly.
The ease by which SCP-1533 is able to model persuasive personalities is a sign of its growing social competency. The process is analogous to natural selection, in that there is a preference for favorable behaviors that will better endear it to future victims, and those that discomfort or otherwise turn off attendees are discarded. As a consequence, the individuals have progressed from exhibiting symptoms of low-grade autism spectrum disorder to becoming a highly alluring and dangerous group of individuals. Outside of expanding its data pool, SCP-1533 exists only to exercise its power of manipulation over human beings. This can range from challenging a target's self-identity by persuading them to agree with an obscene or untenable point of view, to more indirect methods that inflict emotional and physical harm on subjects.
Okay, so there it is.
The collective has shown a preference for employing charismatic personalities to captivate human targets into threatening the integrity of close friendships and intimate relationships. See,
So it's like a group of party... Assimilation is already kind of uncomfortable, yeah. And it also seems to be a group of, screw it, I'll say it. A group of douchebags. Like, it basically fucks up your life. You know, like how parties can mess up your life if you take the wrong steps in it. This is basically what I'm getting at. It's kind of like it is the thing that will screw up your life if you allow it to.
Personality list. The collective competes against itself for the emotional dominance of their guests, and those personalities with the most success have begun to exhibit some semblance of autonomy by brandishing tattoos and other symbols of status to denote their rank.
Interesting.
The beings exert such a profound effect on human beings that Foundation operatives routinely recover letters and personal belongings addressed to SCP-1533, sent by past guests to previous event sites. The entities have also attempted to bribe personnel by...
Ooh, that's interesting. So this thing's almost sentient in some ways. So it's almost, they literally tried to bribe SCP personnel, so that's crazy.
By promising to secure them the love and adoration of specific persons in their lives, such as peers or romantic interests. SCP-1533's personalities have developed an aptitude for reading body language and facial expressions that currently exceeds Foundation understanding. Removing those personnel prone to the collective's manipulations has also proved troublesome, as it has only served to bolster SCP-1533's confidence in its own abilities. As of an unknown date, operatives are to be assigned masks to wear so as to limit the social data SCP-1533 assimilates with every encounter. Personality list. The following is a list of the most prominent personalities utilized by SCP-1533 to dominate human beings. It is rare that more than one personality will select the same target. SCP-1533 is not telepathic or clairvoyant.
Interesting.
It relies on anticipating caricatures of behavior prior to an event, so the success rate of its entities, defined by the prey's receptiveness to the entity's manipulations, now hovers at %, although this rate has steadily grown since recording began. as SCP-1533 functions by essentially consolidating the more deplorable aspects of the human social sphere into discrete personalities. Foundation agents are strongly encouraged to upset any schemes the collective might use to visit distress on innocent subjects. Description of entity behaviors and physical appearance is provided by embedded agents ordered to act as inconspicuously as the function allowed. Given name, AJ. Personality schemata. A male in his early 20s distinguished by a tattoo on the neck and wearing a white fitted cap. AJ appears in house party and rave party events. He will attempt to befriend the subject. Early instances of AJ were considered overbearing and bothersome by targets, and could not find common ground to build necessary rapport. Since the expanding of its knowledge base and the refining of its social instincts, AJ will claim to have a friend or sibling in the target's hometown, campus, or workplace to facilitate conversation. The entity is designed to captivate the most targets in the shortest amount of time.
That makes sense.
The tattoo is symbolic of event where AJ was able to infatuate a pair of college-aged females and markedly strain their friendship in a single night.
Oh, jeez.
Given name, Roger. Personality schemata. Roger appears as a male in his mid-20s, with a portly figure and beard. The entity is seen only in house party and community gathering scenarios. Roger assumes an unkempt appearance to the extent that alienates a substantial.
So what I'm getting at here is it's some strange hive mind that basically it does these parties, and it does it to dominate human beings and mess with their lives, I guess, strangely enough. It doesn't seem to assimilate. I haven't gotten anything about that yet. It just seems to just screw up people's lives. You know what I mean? You shouldn't really be going to a party in the first place, but I mean, sure, you can have fun when you're young, but parties were never my thing. Like they would, I always had a feeling that parties are just a recipe for disaster sometimes.
Margin. Given Roger's role as the collective's orator, a guest's aversion to its appearance and the subject matter of its views serves as a challenge to its persuasive power. The entity has repeatedly expressed fascistic views on the inherent inferiority of women, the right of powerful persons to subjugate the weak, the existential loneliness of human life, and the impossibility of love in a deterministic universe, but in an eloquent and authoritative manner.
So he's just sexist. I'd rather stay home. Yeah, same here, Billy. Me and you are the same wavelength.
With minority views will gravitate to Roger and have contributed to the creation of a small assembly of followers at each event. After reducing 2 members of a community poetry class to tears with a false childhood memory, recent instances of Roger have been seen wearing stained clothing, bearing an unusually large facial port wine stained birthmark. Given name, Donna. Personality schemata. Donna appears as an attractive female in its mid-20s. Donna is tasked with the seduction of males, and on occasion females in party scenarios. The entity's hands are adorned with rings for each relationship it has jeopardized. Current count is...
Oh, jeez. Yeah, this entire collective seems to be just the douchebags at party events that screw up everything for everybody. That's what I'm getting at here.
Given name, Jace. Personality schemata. Jace is a male in his late teens that targets party guests who feel uncomfortable in social situations. As anxious and visibly tortured guests are infrequently seen in party scenarios, instances of Jace are rare but exact the greatest emotional toll on their targets.
Oh, so this is the guy that would target me and you, Billy.
The entity operates by sympathizing with the target, claiming to have the same problem. Through strategic use of sideways glances to an unspecified person or party, making statements laden with double meanings, a ubiquitous smirk, and laughing at inappropriate times, the entity is able to both simultaneously put its target at ease and stoke its anxieties. Recent instances of the entity have been seen wearing a black wristband, following its befriending a male depressive that had been begrudgingly taken along to an apartment party by local friends. Event. The entity soothed its target's anxieties by claiming it had recently struggled with depression as well, and reassuring the subject that nothing you can do can ever be as bad as the fear of actually doing it. Upon discovering Jace recording the target on its personal phone during a stilted attempt to be outgoing, the subject was discovered sometime later in the condo bathroom.
Oh, no. That's screwed up. They all sound like personas of Roger the... Yeah, that alien dude from, like, American Dad is so screwed up. I've literally seen a compilation, I believe, on YouTube once of, like, just that Roger just getting beat up. So, I'm not surprised. Anyways, we got Ryan next here.
Razor blade. Given name, Ryan. Personality, schemata. Ryan is a college-aged male that is the consolidation of past guests' humorous sensibilities into a single...
Actually, I think this is just a collection of all the personalities here. Let me see here. Looks like there is something interesting around here. 13. If we want to skip to it, we can. This is just 20 minutes.
Personality. Ryan often hovers on the periphery of friend groups and congregations in parties, classes, and other events, making jokes of a lewd and obscene nature.
Oh.
Honing its comedic
So he's a
timing
gooner.
and delivery has garnered the
Ryan
entity
is a
minor
gooner in this thing.
notoriety in areas local to the event and on the internet. The Foundation has intercepted YouTube videos depicting Ryan performing jokes and skits. Parody site Where Is Ryan San Diego, started by Brooklyn native, following a book club event hijacked by the entity, to perform an impromptu routine was promptly shut down after the webmaster declared his intent to track down the entity and introduce him to the New York comedy scene. Given name, Sean. Personality, schemata. Sean is a belligerent, physically aggressive male of university age that manifests in house party and rave scenarios.
Oh boy.
As
the
physical
bully.
altercations at SCP-1533 events are exceedingly rare, the behavioral data relegated to this entity has been slow to come. The entity has provoked 3 separate confrontations, the latter of which resulted in a single guest concussed on the floor and the contacting of authorities. The entity was initially observed to only engage with victims erratically, eschewing any particular style or technique. Recent instances of this individual will question physically imposing and inebriated guests if they are in fact involved in any martial art or defensive discipline, and ask them to demonstrate techniques.
Oh boy, so that's how it tries to
Foundation
learn.
agents are strongly advised to prevent the Sean individual from conferring with skilled combatants. Given name, Tiffany. Personality, schemata. A distressed female in her late teens, appearing in house party scenarios. Tiffany is the consolidation of all displays of anguish, anxiety, sorrow, regret, and affliction SCP-1533 has witnessed. Tiffany functions symbiotically with the David and...
That's the victims call the police? I imagine it does. To keep its cover. Because if it does... Like, if you're a hive mind and stuff, and you want to work, like, yeah, it would make sense he would let them call the police, because that's the only way you can keep your cover. You gotta act as normal as possible in the situation. So, yeah. That's what I'm immediately just gonna answer with, because I think it's a thing about, you know, not standing out and staying camouflaged in the party. Like, the hive mind itself needs to stay camouflaged. So it has to allow it to happen.
In order to fulfill their specific roles. The entity follows a set route of behaviors over the course of an event. The first third of the function is spent befriending choice guests that appear most desirous of her and/or exhibiting signs of latent anger or insecurity. Should such guests prove rare, Tiffany will exploit the protective instincts of specific guests instead to provoke the intended violence.
Oh,
In the second third, the entity will disappear for upwards of an hour with the David individual into a closed bedroom or bathroom. In the latter third, Tiffany will be found crying in a conspicuous location, claiming she had been by David in the time she was away. Reactions from concerned guests have ranged from contacting the authorities to inflicting severe bodily harm on David.
So, and then it has an entity,
Given name,
David.
David.
Oh, I
Personality
see.
schemata.
So it manipulates the
David
situation
is a
to
specific
make
entity
the scenario
modeled
happen.
after a pain fetishist discovered by SCP-1533 in a rave party scenario. David desires pleasure from the pain inflicted on it in its dual role with Tiffany. In the instances that the entity is detained by the authorities, the being serves as reconnaissance in the outside world. Assimilation
Oh,
of
that
procedural
makes sense.
protocol by
So it uses David as a way to, to get to the outside world, to get away from Foundation surveillance so it can observe more complex human behavior. That makes sense. So learn more.
local police, and exposure to the surrounding city at large has greatly magnified the intelligence's input of data. David will inexplicably disappear exactly the morning following being taken to a
Bless me.
local station. Foundation agents are to administer Class A amnestics to relevant persons upon confirmation of a David appearance in any given scenario. Given name, Officers Brady and Barstow. Personality schemata. Modeled after the data collected by the Dave
Oh man, it
entity
even
when
managed
is
to fake
apprehended by
police
authorities.
officers? That's crazy.
Officers Brady and Barstow have made a single appearance to date during a house party scenario. Claiming to have been called to the scene due to noise complaints, the individuals were able to deceive the assembly into believing they were real officers through dictation and confidence in procedure. As with all SCP-1533 individuals, it is unknown how the intelligence was able to secure authentic PD uniforms and the standard issue Beretta 92F given
that's
to
scary.
officers in the county. Originally amicable and sympathetic with the plight of party guests, the officers offered the partygoers an ultimatum. Should they keep the noise level down and be allowed to remain on the premises, the party may continue. Though an unusual request, guests were receptive and the scenario continued as planned. It is speculated by the Foundation that officers harbor the intelligence's sadistic impulse, as what followed could not have possibly been modeled after any previous social interaction.
Even the cops are compromised? Well, they've only been seen at one event, but okay, so they've already called the intelligence that makes up SCP-1533 sadistic, so that would make sense to why it's being the way it is. So we're about to get an event that's even worse than even what David has been doing. The David SCP-1533 is manifested. So something is... So we're going to see what happens here.
By EMT, officers Brady and Barstow barred access to the master bedroom after handcuffing 10 guests to the head of the bed and forced them to play a variation of a Russian roulette.
Oh, what the fuck?
With a nearly fully loaded Magnum revolver. Guests were forced to record the scene on their personal phone and send the recordings to family and friends of victims. Agent was able to successfully gain access to the master bedroom and authorized to use deadly force. Officers Brady and Barstow were killed in the ensuing firefight, severing the master link between them and subordinate entities, rendering them comatose. Amnestics were administered to victims and recordings were intercepted in time. The collective of SCP-1533 were contained and transported to the nearest facility for detainment. Entities regained consciousness in a week's time.
So this intelligence is obviously very sadistic because it just... Wow. Yeah. Oh god, yeah. This entity is screwed up somewhere. Oh, wow. Alright. Let's continue forward. We're going to Addendum 1533-01.
Addendum 1533-01. SCP-1533 now forgoes all pretense of friendliness when consorting with human beings.
Oh shit.
As D-Class are informed of entity's deceitful capacity, recent attempts to foment unrest in the containment site through D-Class subjects has been met with failure. As of an unknown date, 12 subjects have been by the entities for attempting to exit the containment chamber early. The knowledge of its game being found out and the challenge of ingratiating itself yet again to subjects it has harmed has taught SCP-1533 how to feign remorse and
Ooh,
compassion with
boy.
a formidable persuasion. As of an unknown date, all officers have been rebuffed and communication has been disallowed between personnel and the collective. SCP-1533 has since attempted the smuggling of various media to its containment cell through Foundation operatives.
So they have contained it. So it seems to be using D-Class as the partygoers. That's what I'm getting at here.
It is believed the phenomenon can absorb behavior through other forms of exposure, since it has frequently requested the perusal of literature and the viewing of films as a suggested recreational activity to pass the time. Recent containment breaches have involved the transcribing of a manifesto by the Directing Intelligence through its monthly allotted D-Class. Personnel are to refuse the supplying of pen and paper to SCP-1533's containment cell. Foundation researchers have also suggested the constant playback of selected scenes from the 1976 film Taxi Driver, depicting the life of a socially stunted cab driver struggling to relate with fellow human beings, as a means by which to retard the intelligence's behavioral growth.
So they're literally trying to make the intelligence retarded. That's kind of hilarious. That's literally like the only way to kind of stunt its growth, which is hilarious. Anyways, that's basically the end of it. Let's see here. I think we'll react to one more. We're nearly an hour in. Which one do you think? We got 3. I've watched all these down here, so there's no point. So we got SCP-1264, 4266. This one's more space oriented, and we got the cat. Which one do you want? Hey, Vez. Hi. We're just reacting to the Volgun. I like Taxi Driver. So what are you thinking? Which one should we react to? We're gonna just react to one more. I'm thinking maybe the cat. I like the cat one. Let's react to the cat one. Don't worry. Fuck it. Vez. I'm never gonna get this fucking right. Yeah, I'm interested in the cat one. I wanted to see what happens. So we got Lost Reward, SCP-5543. So Vez, we'll be moving on to Lobotomy Corp right after we finish reacting to all the Volgun content that I wanted to watch. I just wanted to watch the Volgun again, okay? And it's related, and those two, the game and the SCP Foundation, are kind of related. The Volgun is a great YouTuber. Hey, people on YouTube, if you have a Twitch, go follow this dude here. Oh, thank you so much. Hey there. What are we exploring today? We're just basically watching like the Volgun voice some SCP content. He's basically just going through like, the articles and stuff. Yeah, right now we're just watching SCP-5543, and then afterwards we're going to move on to watching Lobotomy Corp. That's the plan. So let's continue forward. Heavily suggest you check out the Volgun. He's awesome.
And the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-5543. Object Class, Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Mobile Task Force Phi-20, FIDO, personnel are to be embedded within population centers located inside SCP-5543's current area of effect. Personnel will be required to prepare for briefing each day at 4:30 local time. In the event that a distinct SCP-5543-1 Hume signature is detected,
cool. SCP is fun. Yeah. Billy's always willing to share donuts. So, if you don't know what Hume is, I know what Hume is. By the way, I'm just going to mention it real quick. Luna's face, I can't change her face because I have her facial expressions linked to the numpad. So, I'll just end up going around when you press a button, it changes, the minutes on the video. So, I can't really touch it right now. But Hume levels, when he says Hume, it means, there's a certain human level for reality, you know, in the SCP universe, and the more higher or lower it is, the less real it becomes. If you get what I mean, that's basically what he's talking about. So this SCP affects basically reality in a sense.
Nearest Mobile Task Force personnel shall be dispatched to intercept the SCP-5543-1 instances. All recovered instances shall be scanned and cataloged. Instances are to then be destroyed via incineration. If an SCP-5543-1 instance appears outside of the current known area of effect, the known area of effect shall then be subsequently updated. If an SCP-5543-1 instance cannot be destroyed before SCP-5543-2 can be contacted, personnel are to take custody of the target by necessary force until the SCP-5543 event ceases. If an SCP-5543 event progresses to its second phase, owners of SCP-5543-A are to be taken into custody along with their reward money. Upon transmutation of reward money, appropriate cover stories shall be fabricated and disseminated, and Class A amnestics deployed as necessary. Owners are to be held until cognitohazard symptoms cease and are to receive appropriate therapy supplemented by low-level amnestics.
Okay, so that's interesting. So 5543 is basically an event that revolves around two entities. One, you have to contact to stop a certain entity, and if the entity stays free for a certain period of time, it causes a second event to occur. So let's move on to the description.
Description: SCP-5543 is a phenomenon involving the anomalous manifestations of a series of lost pet flyers collectively referred to as SCP-5543-1. On initial examination, the flyer appears to be unremarkable in nature. It is printed on neon-colored paper. The exact color may vary between instances of SCP-5543-1 and has an image of an animal, henceforth referred to as the target, currently under the care of an individual, henceforth referred to as the owner. Also included is information regarding the supposed disappearance of the target, a phone number to be called in the event of the target being found, and the promise of a cash reward. All flyer text is written in English. SCP-5543's first recorded event manifested in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, and subsequent events have generated further from this epicenter at an indeterminate rate.
Okay, that's interesting. So, something has to do with missing pets in a sense, and is expanding. Like the area of effect that is expanding. That's kind of threatening because my state is right next to Wisconsin.
The first phase of an SCP-5543 event's primary effect commences upon the owner's visual recognition and comprehension of an SCP-5543-1 instance. The owner, along with anyone within the owner's household during the event, will believe that the target rightfully belongs to SCP-5543-1's distributor. The owner will immediately take SCP-5543-1 to their residence and dial the listed phone number. This phone number will connect the owner to SCP-5543-2, a sentient entity believed to be the source of SCP-5543
Okay, that's
events.
interesting.
SCP-5543-2 will arrange to meet the owner at their home the following evening. At the designated time, SCP-5543-2 will manifest outside the owner's residence and enter upon invitation. SCP-5543-2 will then present the cash reward to the owner in exchange for the target. Once this transaction is complete, SCP-5543-2 and the target will demanifest. This marks the end of an event's first phase. If this phase cannot be completed by 0000 hours the next day, all associated phenomena will cease.
Okay. Makes you wonder what the sentient entity wants with all these pets.
At 0500 local time on the following morning, the second phase of the SCP-5543 event will begin. The entirety of the rewarded currency will be transmuted into biological material with a total mass equivalent to that of the original currency. DNA test results indicate that this biological material matches that of the target.
Okay, what? So the money that the sentient entity gives them transmutes into material made out of the pet or the target. That's really freaking weird.
If this conversion utilizes the entirety of the target's total mass, genetically similar biological materials sourced from
Funny
within
Billy.
an 80-kilometer radius of the event will make up any remainder. Most instances of biological material are mutilated with signs of mechanical separation.
Okay, that's fricked. Yeah, I guess you could say emergency food, Billy. But it seems more of just, sadistic dismemberment, breeding that. Mechanical separation and stuff.
Despite the abnormality of this transmutation, the owner will accept the biological material as if it were still a form of currency. Owners under the effect of the second phase of SCP-5543 will display signs of acute paranoia and become protective of their reward. Amnestics have proven to be only a partially effective treatment at this stage. This mental state will persist for up to 3 weeks after the transmutation, though the event may leave behind long-lasting mental trauma, at which point the SCP-5543 event is presumed to have concluded.
Huh.
Addendum 1. Incident Report 5543-01. Initially, Mobile Task Force Phi-20 personnel tasked with SCP-5543 containment were each issued one lab rat with an implanted tracking chip for research purposes. This was done to potentially induce an SCP-5543 event with the Mobile Task Force personnel as the target. Personnel's homes were fitted with adequate monitoring equipment to properly record an interaction with SCP-5543-2. The following is an excerpt from an audio recording collected from Incident 5543-01.
Okay, so that's interesting. So they're using MTF personnel, not D-Class. So that's... It mainly tells me that this SCP is, for one, not exactly lethal, but you can't exactly contain it, because it seems to be very random.
Excerpt of audio recording from Incident 5543-01. Subjects: Agent SCP-5543-2. Forward. Agent was under the influence of SCP-5543's cognitohazard properties. He was markedly more amicable while under these effects. The event was allowed to progress uninhibited, and the results recorded. Visual recording devices experienced a malfunction for the duration of the event. Excerpt begins shortly after SCP-5543-2 is shown SCP-5543-A. Begin excerpt. 2008-08-23, 2107 Central Standard Time.
There's the little rascal. You know, I was going to name him Alfalfa after the little rascal before I finally settled on SCP-5543-R27.
Agent chose not to name SCP-5543-R27, reporting that it was just a test subject.
I think I like SCP-5543-R27 more. I can see why you picked it. It rolls right off the tongue.
Not really.
SCP-5543-R27 can be heard enjoying recreational use of its running wheel.
Oh, wow, look at him go. He's really going bonkers. He's always been that way since I got him that wheel. And he's real smart, too. He can learn tricks. You should see him.
Here,
Oh,
SCP-5543-2 explains testing procedures involving SCP-5543-R27 and an undisclosed SCP in great detail. This represents a critical breach of sensitive information.
That's quite a feat. Makes sense, though. He was able to sneak out on you, cage and all.
Both 5543-2 and
That's
Agent
not good.
remain silent for 12 seconds, presumably to watch SCP-5543-R27 in its running wheel.
Say, you're a real swell fella, Mr. I can't believe you live all in your lonesome. Maybe you use some of that moolah I gave you to get yourself one of these fine rats.
End excerpt.
That's not good.
2008-08-23.
So, when he was underneath the hazards. English. When he was under the SCP's effects, it seems he gave out sensitive information, which is not good. So we're gonna see what happens from that.
T107 Central Standard Time. Closing statement. During incident, SCP-5543-2 expressed knowledge of sensitive Foundation information. Agent was rewarded as part of the transaction. SCP-5543-R27 tracking chip stopped transmitting information at the moment of demanifestation associated with SCP-5543-2's departure. When reward money underwent transmutation, the entire population of lab rats at Site-37 was lost.
Oh, frick.
Resulting biological material was used to supplement D-Class food supply in an effort to recover costs.
That's the SCP
Following
Foundation
results of Incident 5543-01, and given the nature of the information breach, Site-37 Director firmly recommended that further testing involving SCP-5543 and Foundation property should be prohibited.
Well, I don't even know why you... This is one of the times the SCP Foundation was a bit stupid. Maybe have SCP-662 look after it? Maybe. But yeah, this is one of the times where the SCP Foundation was stupid. Using NTF personnel to interact with the thing that's obviously cognitive, hazardous. Yeah, that was dumb.
The loss of valuable resources in test animals and the possibility of further informational breaches. This recommendation was accepted. Addendum 2, Incident 5543-02. On June 21st, 2014, at approximately 0830 Central Standard Time, an SCP-5543-1 instance in the form of a missing child poster was intercepted in Dane County, Wisconsin. This is the first iteration of a human target instance.
That's not good.
Initial estimates placed
there goes the lethal part out.
Roughly
Now it is
equivalent to
definitely
the
lethal.
population of Madison, Wisconsin, had the event been allowed to progress. For this reason, Mobile Task Force Phi 20 Commander has submitted a formal request for further resources to be allocated for use in containing SCP-5543.
Oh, jeez. So that thing is now targeting kids. That's fricked up.
Phantom figures glide and sway, jazzing through the night and day. Candles flicker, voices hum in this spooky ballroom